What's up, YouTube? What's up, TikTok? Okay, and I am back with another video. This is going to be part 2 of, why does the government consider socialism to be radical, but it's really going to be on the 10-point program or the 10-point manifesto that the Black Panther Party initially wrote down when it was started and founded by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966 when they met in college, okay? So to my TikTok people, make sure you go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's chapter 369. It has longer clips on there, because TikTok only allows 10 minutes. And to my YouTube people, make sure you go follow the TikTok at BPP chapter 369, okay? And the 369 is because you gotta understand the power of the 3, the 6, and the 9, okay? That's a video for another time, okay? Because we're gonna be doing a whole bunch of different content on this channel, or not really different content, but different videos, different subjects, okay? So shout out to Rashad Jamal, shout out to Charleston White, shout out Black Balloon, Industry Hoax, Young Pharaoh, Smart, my fault. Yakai Awaken. Even Dr. Sebi, Nipsey Hussle, XXX. Even shout out Trippie Redd, because he taught me, you know what I'm saying, when he got that TR-666, Trippie taught me about the 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 protons in the body of a carbonated being, which is a Black or Latino person, okay? Now, they won't tell you that, okay? That's cosmic intelligence or esoteric, facts, which, we'll get into another video, but you could check out Rashad Jamal, okay? So let's continue with the Black Panther Party, okay? So I did with the first thing they listed in the 10-point program. That was in that last video, so make sure you go check that out. Which was they want the freedom and the power to determine the destiny of our Black and oppressed communities, okay? So 2, we want full employment for our people. Now, mind you, this is what the government is stating is too much to ask for in 1966, okay? I got a lot going on inside, must be. But in 1966, this is too much to ask for. And we all know what was going on back in the 1900s. We all know niggas was getting assassinated left to right, from up to down. You feel me? And they say it's too much because we want full employment for our people. But let me go into by what they meant. We believe that the federal government, right? Reading verbatim every time. This is what Wiki is letting us know, aka the government, because they're the only ones writing and pulling this out. Okay? And Wiki need to stop asking niggas to donate some money every time you go on there. What y'all need money for? Somebody explain to me what Wiki need money for. Drop that in the comments. What Wiki need money for? Alright? So number 2, we want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every person employment or a guaranteed income. Oh, that's the first sentence, right? Now, mind you, I found this in my research. This is when I knew I was going to start the channel. So when I'm reading some of this, I'm just as shocked because this is my first time coming across this. They don't teach you about this during no Black History Month, and they don't teach you about this in no school, okay? We got to educate ourselves, and not the America with 3 Ks education, not the lies that they put in the books that J.W. Weber or whoever printed those out allegedly and send those off all to the same schools, okay? That is all oppressed people, just not Black people, okay? This is if you rich, no, excuse me, my fault, I messed up. If you poor, lower class, middle class, if you working at 9 to 5, you feel me? If your kids go to public school, a charter school, even if it's one of them little private schools that you paying a little $1,000 tuition, like $5,000 for the year, son, this for you too, and you live still in the inner city. If you got laid off during COVID, we want full employment for our people, okay? Because in the first one, they wanted power to determine the destiny of our Black and oppressed community. So the Black Panther Party wasn't just about themselves. But we're going to get more into that when we get into Fred Hampton, because he had a rainbow coalition. Okay? And he had the game. Look, you probably, Fred Hampton, look him up. But we're going to get back to it. So again, we believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every person employment or a guaranteed income. How is that too much to ask for, right? Because in the first one, if y'all not going to allow us to employ ourselves, right, and be fully in control of the institutions and the businesses in our community, right, then the least you can do as the federal government is give every person employment with a guaranteed income. That's the least you could do in 1966. We believe that if the American businessmen will not get full employment, then the technology and means of production should be taken from the businessmen and placed in the community so that the people of the community can organize and employ all of its people and give a high standard of living. Okay? Because let me see if they're going to let me pull up how people, I seen it in the unaliving of Fred Hampton in the documentary, how these people were really living in. And even now, if you live in the inner city, the apartments is not that nice. Okay? Let me see. I'm gonna look up 1966, and once I'm able to start going live on this channel, then I'll be able to flip it so y'all can see, you know, exactly what I'm looking at. Alright? 1966 apartments. African American. Let's see. Because you gotta be specific. Oh, hold on. Let me connect to the Wi-Fi. Let me connect to the Wi-Fi. Okay. See, that might be hard to find. But the living, okay, if you watch the unaliving of Fred Hampton, you'll see what the living was like. All right, we're gonna move on because I can't find it right now, okay? But I'll show y'all, you know what I'm saying? So, all that they wanted was, which they said we believe, what's so wrong with believing? That if the American businessman is not gonna give full employment, then the technology and the means of the production should be taken from the businessman and placed in the community so that the people of the community can organize and employ all of its people. What is so wrong with that? That's when I knew I had to start the channel, because I'm doing my research and I'm looking and I'm reading stuff for myself, and I'm like, this was too much to ask for? Like, I had to go back and reread. Like, am I tweaking? Radical where? I haven't heard anything radical yet. Let's go to 3. Number 3. That's the third thing that they listed that they wanted. Demands, because that's what they would say. These are the demands from what we want now and what we believe we should have. 3, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black and oppressed communities. We want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black and oppressed communities. Again, they was showing black power, right? But Fred Hampton also said in white power to the white people, and brown power to the brown people, and X power to the people who we left out, and black power to the black people, of course. You know what I'm saying? So, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black and oppressed communities. We believe that this racist government has robbed us, and now we are demanding the overdue debt of 40 acres and 2 mules. That's where that, when Kanye said we still want our 40 acres and a mule, or we past that now, okay? They was asking for 2 mules. 40 acres and 2 mules were promised 100 years ago, before 1966. So in the 1800s. As restitution for slave labor and mass murder of black people. We will accept the payment in currency which will be distributed to our many communities. The American racist has taken part in the slaughter of over 50 million black people. Therefore, we feel this is a modest demand that we make. The American racist has taken part in the slaughter of over 50 million black people, and that was in 1966. What do you think the number's at in 2023? And he's not saying a certain color or race, Caucasian, but just the American, 3Ks, racist, has slaughtered over 50 million black people. And that probably wasn't even a true number. That was just a guesstimate. Okay? They want to end of capitalism, right? Because that's what socialism was fighting. Fred Hampton said, we're not going to fight capitalism with capitalism, black capitalism. We're going to fight it with socialism. Meaning the people in the community wanted the power to be in control of the businesses, the institutions in the community. Economically, they want to be in control. So again, I ask, why does a governor get to govern all of New York State? He makes the rules for all of New York State. He makes the rules. And we in our own communities, who knows what's going on in the community, who knows each other in the community, right? We all grow up within a community. Our parents more than likely know each other and know this person. We know each other's strengths or weaknesses. And this is 1996. I'm talking 2023 now. And we still can't control what goes on in our community. That was too much to ask for. The empty promise, the false promise, the lie that they told those people hundreds of years before 1966 about giving 40 acres and 2 mules after they took the whole land. Because the natives are really black people. They show us red and white people, but those weren't the real natives that was on this land. And they even tell you that in a little made-up story about, I believe King Mali. I gotta look into the name. But about, he was like one of the richest kings over in Africa, and then he left everything to his brother, and he came over west, right? They called this west. Never to be seen again. They never found the boats and all of that, which means he landed where? Way before there was a Christopher Columbus that discovered land that was already being inhabited. But they were promising to give us 40 acres of that. They was never gonna get no 40 acres. You know how many people 40 acres? Even to 100 people? Or was it just 40 acres and 2 mules? Four, we want decent housing. Decent housing. Fit for the shelter of human beings. BTW, black and Latinos are not human beings, but that's a whole nother lecture or a whole nother video for another thing. You know what I'm saying? Your human beings are the Caucasians, Asians, Dravidians, Mexicans, Arabs. Okay? But even for them, it should be fit for them to live in. Because they wasn't living good either. Nobody. If you lived lower class, if you was poor, middle class, it might have been slightly better. But remember, that where you think trailer trash whites come from. See, I got to go do the history and really look into things and really watch those documentaries, because they'll tell on themselves. They'll write it up real good. They'll talk it real good. But they'll tell on themselves. And I'm not disrespecting, I'm not racist, I'm not disrespecting anybody of those 5 races that I just named. Because I love all people and I always had. But y'all know that is something different between y'all, especially Caucasians if you're out here watching, and blacks and Latinos. And when I say the Latinos, I'm not talking about the stringy hair ones that hair grow to the ground. I'm talking about the ones who hair grow towards the sun with that photon energy. the Cubans, the real Afro-Latinos. Latino's not even a real thing. That just comes from the word Latin, which was a Greek love language that they then used for a magic language, which American language comes from Latin. I'm talking about your Panamanians, your Dominicans. Okay? So they wanted decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings, and that was too much to ask for. Okay? We believe that if the landlords will not give decent housing to our black and oppressed communities, right? So black and oppressed communities, then the housing and the land, I thought I brought a water. The housing, excuse me. The housing and the land should be made into cooperatives so that the people in our communities with government aid can build and make decent housing for the people. So all they wanted was a little bit of aid, right? Because we don't got no money. Y'all not giving us no jobs. So how can we be asking for too much by asking for a little bit of money to help build and make our own decent housing for the people if we don't have no jobs? We just want a little bit of money and we gonna do the rest of the work, right? And that's too much to ask for? That's radical? That's too much to ask for? If the landlords isn't going to give decent housing, which the landlords were the people, the American racists, who are oppressing the communities, including the blacks, because that's where it started, then the housing and the landlord should be made into co-ops, meaning we both run it, right? They trying to share so that the people in the communities with the government aid can build and make decent housing for the people. And that's too much to ask for in 1966, 67, 68, 2023. That's too much to ask for now. Okay? I'm going to make a part 2 because I'm going to end on 5. Because I don't know how it's going to work. If, you know what I'm saying? If they're going to let me upload the whole thing. But I'm going to get ready with y'all. Number 5. We want education for our people that exposes, that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. And when we say American, we say an American with 3 Ks, KKK. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in present day society. And that's too much to ask for because we want to understand and know who we are in the true history of our people. Not that we was just over in Africa. We all came from Africa and we was living so uncivilized that we needed the Caucasians to come save us, to bring us over and treat us uncivilized. Right? And enslave us because we're going to go off of their story. And we got to fight for our freedom and rights when we was already free over there living uncivilized. But you're going to bring us to a whole new land. You're going to kidnap and capture us, bring us to a whole new land and treat us uncivilized. Have us treat each other uncivilized. Have us fighting with each other. Warring with each other. Killing each other. Fighting over food. But we was living uncivilized and y'all needed to come save us. So it's asking for too much because we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society, what's really true about it. We want what's true to be given to our people, to our children, because it exposes who you really are. Like we wasn't going to find out. We don't want your lies. We don't want white American history. We don't want American history. You notice they got world history. American history, global history, U.S. history. And they give you 1 month to teach you black history and you continuously learn about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. And that you was enslaved and you needed help. I've been to school. I went through the education. that you gave us. Alright. They said, we believe in an educational system that will give to our people a knowledge of self. Come on, what did I say in like the first 1, 2, or 3 video? They don't want us to have knowledge. They want us to know the ledge. They don't want us to know who we are, where we really came from, who we are. If you do not have knowledge of yourself and your position in the society and the world, then you will have little chance to know anything else. And that's why we still out here lost and confused, because we don't truly know who we are. They took that from us. The only thing we know is we come from descendants of slavery, nigga. And they tell us that our ancestors came from Africa and was living uncivilized. So they got us thinking we're just a bunch of uncivilized people who still need their help. They told us we needed their help then, and they still telling us we need their help now. Tune in for part 2.